With the sixth pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Mansoor Delane, defensive back, LSU.
I will remind you that Kansas City traded first-team All-Pro Trent McDuffie to the Rams this offseason, and his teammate Jalen Watson later signed with LA as well. So they had a need at this position. Mansoor Delane, a unanimous All-American in his only season at LSU, transferred after 3 years at Virginia Tech.
No doubt. And when he got to LSU, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, can he play man coverage? Can you line up and play man-to-man? You can check that box. Number two, can he play zone coverage? Can he play off? Can he read the quarterback? I think we quickly learned he can do that. Does he panic when the ball is in the air? He doesn't do that. So when you look at Mansoor Delane, you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting a guy that's very patient, that can play man coverage. He's very patient and can play off zone coverage. And when the ball is in the air, he understands how to go attack the ball, and he doesn't get graphic. That's something that a lot of college corners do. They get very graphic. He doesn't do that, and he catches the football, which means he can turn the football over for your team. You talk to defensive back coach Corey Raymond, and he's had some great ones down there. Morris Claiborne, Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu. He's right in that same elk, Mel, with all those guys.
Came out of Archbishop Spalding High School, right? Watching play high school football. To see him get to this point, the way he talked about it. Virginia Tech, inconsistent. Made some big plays with interceptions, gave up some. At LSU this year, started off the Clemson game. He had an interception, had a couple pass breakups. He took his game to a new level. Everybody thought he'd be a 4-5 guy, an under 4-4 at the workout. I had him right now as the 14th best player in this draft. I think it's a bit of a reach, but guess what? With Jermod McCoy and that lingering knee injury, he became the guy at corner that you got to get, because there's really, right now, no locked corner because of McCoy's injury. Maybe Colton Hood gets in there, maybe Chris Johnson, San Diego State, but that made Mansoor Delane much more valuable at the top of the draft because of McCoy falling back just a bit.
Yeah, they're betting on that ascension that you're talking about, Mel, that he's on currently as far as how he has improved to continue. They've done a nice job down there with defensive backs. They lost 2 of them this offseason. I mean, it was a necessity in order for Brett Feast to go ahead and fill this position and get someone like this guy who, look, he just absolutely balled out all year long. He supports the run. He makes plays on the football. He's so aggressive at the catch point. He can do it all. He has really developed his game.
They make the aggressive move. They go up and get their man, and Marriott Bonvoy takes us back to Laura, who's with Mansoor Delane.
Mansoor, you just said, wow, this is crazy. The Chiefs traded up to get you. What did they tell you about why you were so important to them?
Sure, really just the way I play the game. This confidence they have in me, they weren't really on me too much in this process, but they said they just wanted to keep it quiet and make that sneak move, and they made the best move in the draft, so I'm excited.
You were once a little boy dreaming of this very night where you would become an NFL player. What would that little boy say now?
Man, don't stop now. Don't stop now. You got what you dreamed of, but, man, let's make a mark on this league.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And
all right, Laura,
Kadyn
thank
Proctor,
you.
the 2 offensive linemen I was talking about for the Cleveland Browns still on the board. They could go any direction, but it all begins up front. And you got to give your quarterback Malik Willis a fighting chance. So the offensive linemen are there. Proctor and Freeling both available for the Dolphins.
So a new era in Miami, new coaching staff, new leadership, new quarterback, new opportunities, and let's see which player they've chosen as their first pick tonight. Here comes Roger Goodell. Pick number 12 tonight for the Dolphins.
With the 12th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Kadyn Proctor, tackle, Alabama.
Oh, there he is. And I don't need to tell you, the first thing you notice is the size. He is 6'7", 352 pounds. 3-year starter at left tackle, a freshman, All-American in 2023, All-SEC each of the last 2 years, consensus All-American in 2025.
Now you look at Kadyn Proctor, the talent is in abundance. He should be a Pro Bowl player. He should have been a dominant player week in and week out when he was playing at Alabama. First game against Florida State, he struggled. He had some concentration lapses, focus lapses. He allowed a sack, 2 quarterback hits, 3 hurries, and a penalty in that game. Second half of that game against the Seminoles, he had all kinds of problems in that game. He got better as the season went along. I think he qualifies somewhat as an underachiever. For all that talent, you got to dominate in college. Kadyn Proctor can be as good as Kadyn Proctor wants to be. If he wants to be a great player in the NFL, he has that talent to be that guy. But at Alabama, there was too many missed opportunities and pass protected where he let inferior players beat him. Focus issues in terms of penalties, Lou. He's got to figure all that out and become more consistent to realize all that talent and ability that he possesses.
And some of that has to do with his weight. He's got to make sure that he keeps his weight down, because when he's in shape, he can play the left tackle spot and he can play at a high level. Alabama split him out at wide receiver. They put him at running back. They threw him the football. He's a guy that can be as good as he wants to be, but it's all going to be about his motivation. Is he going to be motivated week in and week out to keep his weight down where he can play left tackle against some of the elite rushers in the National Football League?
That's what you're betting on. You're betting on the football character developing to the point where he's a self-starter, right? That you don't have to sit there and you don't have to babysit him all the time and say, hey, look, hey, Kadyn, it's in your best interest to make sure that your weight's down, because when it's down, you dominate people. This guy moves people against their will. And that's how, when if you're Jeff Hafley, the new head coach down there, that's what he wants from Malik Willis. He wants an offensive line that he can just turn around and hand the football off and rely on this offensive line. And Kadyn Proctor, he can play all positions, man. You're right. It is all up to him.
Yeah.
You're making a bet on the fact that the maturity will kick in and the importance of the game will be such that he will keep his weight at a manageable level to where he can dominate. Because the only reason why he doesn't dominate in the NFL is because of himself.
Yeah.
Because if he's on, it's over. This dude is a problem.
You see the emotion in his face as he made his way down there to meet with Roger Goodell. The Dolphins, again, starting almost from scratch. And seems like a good place to start with an offensive tackle who figures to have a chance to be a dominant player in front of their new quarterback, Marriott Bonvita, Laura, and Kadyn Proctor.
Kadyn, you just told me I've never cried like that. The emotion that you experience with your family, what is this moment like for you and letting some of that emotion out?
It's just so surreal, honestly, like having my people around me, you know, they experiencing this shit for the first time. I just don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss for words. You know, I just appreciate the Dolphins for giving me an opportunity to go down there and play. Man, I'm finna go play my ass, I promise you that.
You have said that the O-linemen are the best athletes on the field. Are you going to be campaigning to be catching some passes, maybe running the ball a little bit out there?
Oh, for sure. You know, coach is giving me a chance. I promise you I'm going to put that ball into that end zone. Promise you that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Here the Ravens will come behind them, followed by Tampa Bay, and then the New York Jets will make their second selection of the night. But it's the Rams who are on the clock here at 13, and here comes the commissioner with the announcement.
With the 13th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama.
Oh my goodness. We have the first true stunner of the 2026 first round. Ty Simpson goes 13 to the Rams. If you've not been following this process, the speculation, or at least the question, had been, would he go in round one at all? He goes 13 to LA. Let's talk about Ty Simpson. You see the big hug there. He spent 4 years at Alabama, but started only one of them. So just 15 starts in his collegiate career. Numbers were great. 28 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. He's 23 years old. He'll be 24 in December. And, of course, he is the son of a coach, Jason Simpson, who has been the head man at UT Martin Mel since 2006.
We thought when the Rams traded 29 to the Chiefs, right? We thought that trade at 29 was going to take Ty Simpson to put him in a spot where maybe Arizona would have to trade in, because the Rams aren't going to take him at 13. Well, the Rams took him at 13. Why would you do that when you're built for now with Matthew Stafford? Because they want the heir apparent, obviously, and Ty Simpson. This is a kid up till mid-November, Lou, was at 21 touchdowns and 1 pick. Then he said he got hurt. He was beat up. Then he had 5 straight games with a fumble loss. that he had a fumble loss in the playoffs as well, right? But he wasn't 100%, he said. Needs to get a little bigger, a little stronger. To me, Ty Simpson, they're hoping, is the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford.
Look, there's a reason why, and I tried to say this, and there were people who were all over me on social. Look, there's a reason why this young man decided to come out. Him and his inner circle decided to come out. And that was because they felt as though this was going to happen. And I bet they felt as though this was going to happen with this team. He is perfect for this team. He is perfect for this offense. He ran very similar concepts at Alabama. He gets to sit behind Matthew Stafford. People say, well, why would you take a quarterback like this if you're built to win now? Well, the best time to take a quarterback is when you don't need one, not when you're up against the wall and you're forced in picks. He fits perfectly. His tape, you cannot deny. You can go ahead and bang on him for the fact that, you know what, his resume is not that long, but his play this year, he showed some high-level quarterback play. Sean McVay must have saw the same thing, and now he gets to learn from one of the very best to do it in Matthew Stafford.
He showed high-level quarterback play. The 15 starts concern me. I don't think there's a track record for guys that have started 15 games. And then on top of that, Mel, think about this. How does this help the Rams this year? They were arguably the best team in football last year. Matthew Stafford is coming back. This does not help them win this season.
It helps Ty Simpson, though. 15 starts is a risky number. He's got to sit and watch and learn. He can't be forced in there. The Rams are a team ready to win a Super Bowl. Watch Matthew Stafford. Learn from Matthew Stafford. 15 starts is risky. Now he has a chance to set
Aaron Bonvoy, Laura, and Ty Simpson.
Ty, your dad was your coach. He's been a coach for as long as you can remember. As you think about tonight, now that you're a first-round NFL quarterback, how did he help you get here?
I mean, first off, I want to give all the glory to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. The fact that I'm here on the NFL stage of the draft, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. But my dad, he helped me along the way in everything possible, from sitting in meetings to quarterback drills. Shout out UT Martin and everything they've done for me as well.
Now you're going to play in an offense with the Rams. It's similar to the offense that you ran at Alabama. What are you most excited about in learning from Sean McVay and quarterback Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, I mean, two of the greatest minds in, offense, especially with, Coach McVay and the quarterback offensive standpoint. And then, Matthew is one of the greatest of all time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Congratulations, Ty.
Thank you.
With the 18th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Caleb Banks, defensive end, Florida.
A transfer from Louisville, spent 3 years at Florida, limited to just 3 games last year because of a foot injury, but he had 4.5 sacks the year before, and he has the athleticism of a basketball star, Booger, which he was in high school.
Well, Greeny, think about this. When they made him, they don't make many guys that look like this. 6'6", 327 pounds, 35-inch arms, 10-inch hands. He only played 3 games this past season. If you want to know what he was, go back to the 24 season and watch the game against LSU. Simply lined up and dominated. A long defensive tackle. At his best, Mel, I think he's got Chris Jones-like potential inside. As a rusher, as a run defender, he can be dominant. He went down to the Senior Bowl, and he showed up and he showed out. Now, the problem is going to be from a medical standpoint, if you're Minnesota, the foot injury. They had to check the foot out because a big man with a foot injury usually doesn't get better. But when he's healthy, he's one of the best defensive linemen that we've seen.
That's the thing, right? I mean, when you see him in person, and I got to stand next to him down the practice field in Mobile, my jaw hit the turf. He is massive. And you're right. You got to watch 2024 in order to get a good feel for him.
All right, the Carolina Panthers are on the clock, and then the Cowboys will make their second pick of the night, followed by the hometown Steelers as the draft continues in a moment on ESPN. The Carolina Panthers pick is in. The commissioner will be along to announce it any moment, and I can also tell you, politics and football make strange bedfellows. The Eagles and Cowboys made a trade, the two arch rivals. Philly moving up a few spots, so they will select next, having made that trade with the Cowboys to number 20. But first, the Panthers at 19, and the commissioner, Roger Goodell.
With the 19th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Monroe Freeling, tackle, Georgia.
Out of Charleston, South Carolina, he is big. 6'7", 315. Played a lot his first 2 seasons, but didn't become the full-time left tackle till last year when he was named second-team All-SEC.
I had him as the 13th best player in this draft. Carolina gets him at 19. He had the injury at left tackle. You talk about a guy like this stepping in for a Bryce Young at quarterback. Size is an issue with Bryce. He needs that clean pocket. You talk about Monroe Freeling, 6'7.5", 315 pounds. Talk about 34.5 arms. You talk about vertical jump of 33.5 and a 4'9", 340 with huge hands. Only 17 starts, but in pass pro this year, did a great job. Run blocking needs to be improved. Blake Miller had 54 starts. This kid only had 17, so he's still a work in progress. I thought he'd actually go a little earlier than this. I think at this point for Carolina, knowing that Bryce Young is at his best, when he gets that clean pocket, they can see that field bug. This makes sense for the Carolina Panthers. This kid's best football is ahead, and the way he improved in pass pro with only limited starts, basically only a one-year starter, speaks volumes what kind of player he can be next year and moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6'7", right? So he's got to get that frame down. Punch timing has to be improved. But they're going to pencil him in at left tackle for Ike Ekwonu.
All right, and so as I mentioned, the Eagles have traded up with the Cowboys. Each thinking wide out.
That can catch the football.
With the 24th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Concepcion, wide receiver, Texas A&M.
There you go, Mel. Let's underline it. The Browns wide receivers had the fewest receptions, the fewest receiving yards, and the fewest touchdown catches in the NFL last year. So now they get the tackle and they get the wide receiver in round 1 tonight.
And Shador can get him the ball. He's an accurate thrower on the football, but Concepcion's got to be more consistent catching the football. He had 7 drops this past year. What I liked about him, when he had a drop, it didn't bother him. It didn't haunt him the rest of the game. He's a great punt returner as well, but after the ball is in his hands, after the catch, that yak is impressive. This kid battles for everything. He was Kevin Concepcion when he was at NC State as a true freshman, and he caught my eye then. Here comes KC Concepcion, and he's doing the same thing at A&M, but he's got to eliminate some of those drops.
You know who my comp for him was Zay Flowers. Todd Monken, the OC in Baltimore, who did he have there? Zay Flowers. So you can tell he understood what he wanted. He wanted juice to run after the catch, the ability to get explosive plays. That determines ball games in the National Football League. I understand the drops, but what's amazing, he didn't have many drops in the punt return. He has concentration drops catching the ball, but in the punt return game, he can catch the football. But you can tell Todd Monken, the head coach, identified what he wanted. He wanted juice like Zay Flowers. That's the comp, and he went and got it.
Yeah, 7.36 yards of yak per reception this year. That just gives you so many different options as far as how to get him the football, whether it be in the screen game, quick slant game. He can win on the go balls down the field as well. I mean, he can do it all. He's got a nice package to him, no question about it.
Interestingly, he won the ball round 1 here in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, before the Titans pick, congratulations, you set a record for the first night of the draft. 320,000 people here tonight. Congratulations, Pittsburgh. Awesome. With the 31st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Keldric Faulk, defensive end, Auburn.
And so every player who came to the draft this season heard his name called on night 1. Keldric Faulk is 6'6", 276 pounds. He played 3 years at Auburn, started the final 32 games of his career, and had 10 sacks.
I'll tell you what, you talk about an LTP, or he looks the part. Why didn't he produce better results? That's kind of the theme of some of these defensive linemen, like Peter Woods, talking about T.J. Parker. Keldric Faulk, when you look as good, and you test as well as he did, and you have versatility to go inside, and you're playing college football, why Bug wasn't any more productive? He did not build it all in 2024.
You know, sometimes when you have young players now, it takes them a little bit of time to develop. We know it's in there. At his best, he reminds me of Eric Armstead. Like, at his best, a guy that long, he has inside-outside versatility. He can play defensive end. I think right now he's best inside, rushing over the guard until he develops his pass rush move. His best football is in front of him, and I can't wait to see what Robert Saleh does when he lights the fire under him.
You know, hey, considering how Robert Saleh likes defensive lines to play.
Yeah.
Gus Bradley. This right here, that's the perfect place for this guy.
Yeah.
Just to say, hey, look, right, get up on your toes, get up on your front hand, and go.
Yeah.
Don't sit there reading stuff.
Yeah.
You're not trying to two-gap anybody. Get that 6'6" body going upfield and just wreck some stuff. And to play alongside Jeffrey Simmons,
Yeah,
that's a pretty good mentor right there.
Well, congratulations to Keldric Faulk. I'd like to correct something I said a moment ago with my apologies. There are still 2 players who are here in the green room and have not heard their names called yet, Kadyn McDonald and Colton Hood. So we'll see if their names are called. We have 1 selection left tonight, and then tomorrow night, obviously, rounds 2 and 3. So I apologize as I was looking at the wrong list there. So there are still 2 players who are in the green room waiting to hear their names called, which they certainly will be between tonight and tomorrow. Keldric Faulk, meanwhile, going to Tennessee.
Well, I think you look at edge rusher was their big need area, and he fits the bill that if he can be productive, if he can take that talent and go out and perform to the level expected. And again, you got coaches in this league. They're supposed to be the best coaches in the world, dude.
Yep.
Folks. You got to teach this kid how to rush the passer. Kieran Crawford at Auburn was a better player this year.
Sure was.
I'm watching for 15. I'm saying 24 pounds.
Yeah. A year ago, though, I remember I was down at Auburn against the late game against Texas A&M, and Keldric Faulk, I'm just telling you, you're just sitting there going, who's number 15?
He's flat.
I mean, he is the dude. But you're right. Look, he's at the right place because the combination of Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley, come on now, that right there, they'll get him going. And they're going to move him up and down the line of scrimmage. Again, next to Jeffrey Simmons, he's got all the tools in the world. He's got them all. And when we talk about matching people up with the right system and the right people, if they can't get it out of him, nobody will.
They just don't make many people that look like him. 6'5", 285, 34-inch arms. They don't make many people with that athletic ability, that size. I think that his ceiling is the sky. He can go as high as he wants to go, especially with those measurables.
Yep.
Good night for the Titans here again. Another of those teams made an